are safely at a 6 feet distance. Welcome, Pablo, to the quarantine conversation, the very first one.
Yeah, good to be here.
I've known you now since the convention of 2016, and then bringing you on to Department of Labor in the administration, and then Team Tom for the DNC race. A quick stint at the Senate before the DNC, then March for Our Lives, and then Warren's office. Am I missing anything?
No, and you got the order exactly right, which is pretty impressive.
Okay. So you are MVP, as I say, most valuable Pablo, all-star intern to the Democratic Party.
Spent the last 8 months living in South Bend working for Mayor Pete's campaign. Videographer, photographer, storyteller, writer.
What of those experiences has resonated with you most? What's the through line there, and what was the anomaly in the very varied experiences you've had already?
So I'd say that like the big thing that has sort of been consistent throughout is talking to people and hearing from people.
What are you hearing on the ground that us libtard elites don't hear enough from the coast?
I spent a lot of time in Iowa. A lot of people do just want to get along. Not everyone's fighting. When people say Twitter is not real life, that is probably one of the truest statements that you can say about our political climate right now. Voters of all demographics that I talk to, all sorts of people, they're just wondering how their next day can be better than the day they're in right now.
Candidates are characterized. So a lot of people found out about Pete for the first time this time around. What did you learn about him just being in the bubble?
Since my main thing was I would film events and then talk to people, people would ask me if he's the same to his staff as he is on stage. And the like honest answer is yes. Like he's such a good, down-to-earth person. I don't know, I always thought that joining a campaign right out of college might make me cynical and like, because I've always been pretty cynical. And learning from this campaign, I am more hopeful than I was when I joined it, which is not what I expected to happen.
Yeah, talk about the campaign, like the dynamic.
At the end of the day, you have each other and you have what you're fighting for. The like lifelong friendships, it's amazing on that front. And I know you don't need a campaign to get that, but a campaign definitely gives you that.
And it's really great to hear that you are filled with optimism and hope right now.
If I could bring myself back to my last week of my senior year in college when I was trying to figure out what to do, who would be willing to take a chance on me, things like that, I could not have asked for a better experience or a better campaign or a better candidate. And I don't know what I'm going to do next, but obviously the task remains before us of winning in November, trying to find a way to make myself useful in that fight.
You got the e-brake sort of ripped just shortly before everyone else, but I think everyone needs to, enjoy this me time. What are you going to be spending it?
Not doing a whole lot, walking around the beaches, doing interviews in living rooms 6 feet apart. I'm excited to cook. I haven't cooked in a very long time. But yeah, excited to be a human, get some sleep.
Some rapid fire questions to end this thing off. What was the best meal you had on the road?
There's this place in Des Moines called St. Kilda's, Australian iced coffee, which is just like 2 shots of espresso and then ice cream all the way to the top of the glass. Real good.
What is the weirdest thing you saw Pete eat on a stick?
At the Iowa State Fair, he ate that pork chop on a stick. Lots of weird food that day.
Do you think this experience prepares you to be interviewed by Pete on his new late night talk show?
I don't think so.
What is shit we all agree on?
I think everyone agrees that everyone needs healthcare and that we need to find a way to get there. And the rest is just process.
What's been sitting in your Netflix queue this whole time that you're really excited to finally
The Crown.
The Crown?
Yeah, people have been recommending it forever, and I finally dove into it, watched the whole first season in one night, and very good.
Now that you have worked at the DNC convention, the DNC, the Obama administration, the Senate, a presidential campaign, and all before 23, 24?
I just turned 23, yeah.
What show or movie is most like the real world?
Well, this is where I confess that I haven't seen Veep.
Veep is accurate, yeah. It's so mean, though. Anyone who thinks it's House of Cards and our lizard friends over at the Pizza Pit or whatever it is, like,
yeah,
we are not advanced enough to pull off conspiracies. That's the number one thing.
Yeah.
Any hot quarantine tips?
Hot quarantine tips. Watch The Crown.
I'll watch The Throne, you watch The Crown.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on our very first quarantine conversation.
Yeah, good to be here.